Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Tech from the Geekly Weekly Dead Rec, and today's for our first episode. We have a exclusive interview with CJ Graham from Highway to Hell and Friday the 13th. CJ, if you'd like to introduce yourself, kind of tell them who you are.
Hey guys, it's CJ Graham. Jason, can you hear me?
I can't really put my camera on.
Yeah, we could hear you all right. So, first question. Me and this guy, Games here, we kind of had a fight about this. In Friday the 13th, Part 6, does Jason have hair?
Does Jason have hair? No, not in Part 6.
Wow.
You owe me a mask.
I do owe you a mask on that one, Games. Okay, Games, would you like to ask your first question?
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. How tall are you currently?
Well, I didn't get taller, I didn't get shorter, so I'm still 6'3", 250 pounds.
Wow. Alright. Next question from me. Which role did you like better? Did you like being Hell Cop or Jason?
Well, I mean, Jason is the one that has a worldwide iconic image, so obviously the Jason is well known, but I really had a good time playing Hell Cop, thinking it might have an opportunity to be similar to Jason. However, you know, Jason took off, and decades later, you know, it's a household name.
Alright, that's pretty cool. Games, your turn now.
Like, one time did you, like, want to, like, be Jason again? Because I know how it can be, like, fun and scary at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys, I mean, you may not know, but I was scheduled to do Part 7, and when it came along, time to go to work, Kane knew the director, and Kane has told people the same story. He really wanted to play the Jason character, so Kane talked to the director who he'd worked for before, and the director went ahead and let Kane take the position over from me before the start of the movie. However, looking back on it, Kane did a great job in 7, 8, 9, 10, but more importantly, Kane Hodder has been, in a very positive way, a very strong cheerleader, and I mean that respectfully, for the franchise. He's out there every weekend doing Comic Cons and horror cons and traveling the world, keeping the iconic image live. So he's done a great job. But, you know, if I was asked to do it again today, if I felt I could produce on the screen what I did back in Part 6, if I could give it 110% and the project would be successful, I'd seriously consider.
Alright, so, obviously, through the years, there has been a game in development, the Friday the 13th video game that came out back in May the 26th. Have you played it, and if so, are you a fan of it?
I have not played it yet, but I have heard a lot of positive feedback. I've heard from everybody how gory it is. I've also heard a lot of people really like the Part 6 character, because you got to remember, Part 6, I'm the only Jason with a Batman utility belt. I mean, I've got all these weapons. So when you think about it for a second, I've got the machete, I've got the knife, I've got the darts, I've got the spear, and then I've got the brutal strength. So I'm kind of fortunate, but I understand a lot of people are going to the retro Jason, which is Part 6, and playing that character because there's more opportunities for kills.
Yeah, that whole retro Jason thing kind of got me mad today because for Xbox One users, they postponed it, so that wasn't really cool, but it'll come tomorrow. Alright, Games, now it's your question.
Was it fun working with Tom Matthews?
Yeah, James, I work with Tom Matthews, and I see him at some of the conventions sometimes. He's still a great guy. You know, he's done a lot of work on stage and a lot of work behind the camera. So he's a great guy. He's out of California, and I see him about every 6 months each year when I go out to a convention.
I'm already talking to them. They said they're at the spinning.
Okay, So, this next question. When did you get into horror movies?
I really didn't. I got into horror movies way back when Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney, the black and whites, Frankensteins, the Draculas, the werewolf type of the Mummy. I got back in those days, and then it just kind of carried over to the late 70s and the 80s. And now, like everybody, I'm a fan of all the series.
All right, James, your question.
Okay. If you're a fan of the Friday the 13th films, which one's your favorite?
Part 6.
I knew it.
James, you got to ask the real question, buddy. You can't ask me what my favorite is. That's like James asking you, what's your favorite baseball bat at a game? It's your bat, of course, when you hit a home run. So my favorite series is Part 6, but I really thought Part 7 was kind of cool. I thought the spin very positive and could have carried the series. I wasn't as in tune with Part 10, but I do feel there's opportunity to bring it back to the retro to be more positive with the Jason character when they do the new film.
My all-time favorite would be Part 3 because that's the first time with the hockey mask, and movie's just kind of an iconic one. But Part 6 was probably one of the better Friday the 13th movies for a lot of reasons, you know. Tommy came back. You had some gruesome kills, like when you hit the guy with the in the head with the tree, like when he threw him at that. Yeah, some iconic deaths.
Part 3 is cool though. Part 3 was Richard. If you remember, Richard passed away about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that is true. I mean, that is the first time the iconic hockey mask was put into the series, and then it just carried from there. Part 5 kind of was more just an illusion, and then Part 6 they got back on track with the hockey mask.
So, and Friday the 13th, Part 6, whatever, I don't know why he left. Odd. Do you still have the hockey mask?
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact. You want to see it?
Yeah, sure.
Want to go get it for me? It's in the office. All right, hold on. I'm going to have Ruby bring it to me, okay? And I'll give you a visual on it. It's in a shadow box. I actually used to have two. One I sold years ago with a 357 hole. I still have the one I used in the James Bond scene where I walk across the screen and slice it. So I still have that one. So I'll have Ruby get it and bring it, and I'll give you a little peek of it, okay?
All right. How much did you sell the hockey mask for?
A lot.
No.
In other words, enough to buy a car.
Ooh.
Here you go.
Well, if you think about it, a screen-used mask is a tiny bit better than a car. Ah, that's so pretty. That's history.
What do you think?
That's beautiful. That's like... Wow, that is freaking amazing.
I had to do something quickly.
Right.
But I'm back.
Wow. Screen-used mask right there. That's
Is
freaking...
that cool?
That's hecka amazing. Wow, that blew my mind. That was beautiful. And you don't ever plan on selling that one?
No, I have a son to do with it. I keep it, but if anybody ever offer on it, I'll the offer is. I'll let you but so far he's decided to keep it.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. So, like, once you pass away, do you ever plan to pass the mask down onto someone? Like, kind of like a family generation thing? Like, would you pass it down and then once that person passes, they pass it down?
Say that.
Huh?
Say that question again.
So, so if you never sell the mask, will you ever pass it down as a family generation type thing?
Exactly. I mean, that's the object. It's for my son to do what he chooses to do. So if he chooses to keep it, maybe one day there'll be a museum to horror movies, and maybe he'll give it to them on loan so it can be displayed, and then maybe he'll decide one day he needs the money and he can sell it. But it is more of a family loom to hand on to my son. And he's about 6'3" now. He gained a little bit of weight, but you never know. In 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, he might be the next Jason.
I would love to see another Graham in the Friday the 13th series. That would be awesome. So now, convention-wise, have you ever heard of a convention called like Monsterpalooza down in Burbank and Pasadena, Los Angeles?
Actually, I'm going to be at the Son of Monsterpalooza this year, at the end of September, I believe it is, in Burbank.
Will you go to the one next year in, I think, April it is, in Pasadena?
If I get invited, yes, and there's probably a strong probability. This year it was too late to get into that one. However, they asked me to come to, I believe it's September, the end of September one, and I said fine. So I'm going to do Son of Monsterpalooza in Burbank, and that should set the stage for next year.
Cool. That at Monsterpalooza, that's where
I'm already doing Monster Mania in New Jersey. I'm going to do Texas Fright Near in Texas.
That's sweet.
Say that again?
And Monsterpalooza, that's where I met Kane, which was an honor to me. But I didn't really get to talk to him, but I get to talk to you, which is amazing. So, are you good friends with Kane?
That's why, and part 6 used to be your favorite.
Yeah, part 6 is definitely one of my favorites. It's probably one of the only ones I didn't fall asleep to. It didn't really bore me. It was an awesome movie.
Yeah.
Who did the makeup effects for Jason in part 6?
Good.
Hmm?
Well, part 6, there was a company called Real Effects, REEL Effects, Real Effects. They actually did part 4 also with Ted White, and they're the ones that found me or discovered me and put me in front of Tom McLaughlin, the director and the writer, and Michael Nomad, the stunt coordinator, and Frank Mancuso Jr. from Paramount Studios, the producer. So Real Effects is the one that did all the special effects, and then a gentleman named Chris did my special makeup and stuff for my effects.
Awesome. What was your favorite kill in Friday the 13th part 6?
My favorite, well, I have two, so I got to confess, but my favorite was breaking the sheriff's back. I enjoyed that because of the way it was done and the cosmetics of how it was broken down. However, I did enjoy killing the sheriff, squeezing his brains out. Yeah, I liked killing Horseshack. That was kind of fun. And, well, I did appreciate Darcy. And now that I think about it, I kind of enjoyed each one of the kills.
So, another question is, which role were you more proud of, Hellcop or Jason? Like, if you had to relive...
Well, I think Jason, hands down, because, number one, I was picking up the role from 5 other Jasons.
Yeah. So... which cast was better working with? Like, which cast and crew was better working with? Highway to Hell or Friday the 13th, Jason Lives?
Well, they're actually opposites, meaning Jason, we shot 95% of it at night, so we were all Dracula walking around like vampires before there were vampires. And then Hellcop, we shot everything in the daytime because it's in hell. So, I mean, they were completely opposite. But when you get on a set, everybody is, from the transportation to the special effects to the directors to the assistant directors, the PAs, they're all amazing people. They're very professional, and they're working really hard. I mean, both of those films were SAG films, which is Screen Actors Guild. And, of course, the best of the best was there. So you can't really compare as much as you can understand. One was shot in the desert, in the blazing heat in the daytime. The other one was shot in the swamps of Georgia at nighttime. So the comparisons are 180 degrees opposite.
Wow. All right. That's pretty crazy. So, how did you guys at the Friday the 13th Part 6 filming? How did you manage to do the punch in the chest and ripping out the heart scene?
You know, it's, again, going back to real effects, it was just the special effects. What they did is they set up a dummy, and what they did is they put a very clear, thin plastic on the inside of the shirt. The shirt was pre-ripped, torn, and inside was the actual heart. So when I tore into it and went out the back, I had a whole little heart. It's called the POV, point of vision. So I entered from the front with the camera. Second camera picked it up in the back coming out, and then you see the heart beating in my hand. Now, for aesthetic purposes, they wouldn't allow the heart to beat because it was too grotesque for the 80s. Today, it would be acceptable. So they had to cut that piece out of the blood squirting out of the heart. And they call it cutting it. It ended up on the cutting floor, so it didn't get to the final cut. Otherwise, the film would have had to have an X rating back in the 80s instead of having the R rating that it did.
So, when the movie was released, wasn't there a problem with MGM? There was a problem with one of the kills. It was too gruesome, I believe, and MGM.
Again, I'm sorry.
When the movie Jason Lives was released, wasn't there a kill that was too gruesome to show, so MGM kind of had to block it out?
Yeah, so what happens is it goes before, not MGM or not Paramount, but it goes before a board for the film industry, and they determine if it's an R rating, a general rating, an X rating, and things have changed over the days. I'll give you a good example. When you were just a little guy, way back when I was a little guy, everything on TV is completely different than it is today. So now that everybody's allowed things to be seen more frequently, what those kills that we have, the details that we put into it, would be acceptable in today's rating. But the ratings of the 80s, it was not acceptable. So they ended up being put on the floor, as we call it, cut, and that was that.
All right. So, now, what's your least favorite Friday the 13th film?
Well, I think my least favorite, I wasn't really, I thought the aesthetics, I thought the costume, the wardrobe for Part 10 was cool, but it was too Terminator. And I think when we started going into space and making a space movie with Jason, which is a hometown homicidal killer, I think you lose the connectivity with the audience. So I wasn't as favorable towards Part 10. Like I said, Part 7 was amazing. You know, going to New York was a little out there, but it could have happened. But I think Part 10 was my least favorite. But I also will tell you that Part 5 really is of Jason. So the least favorite to answer your question direct would be Part 5. I think the least interesting one I thought as it carried was Part 10.
All right. Are you friends with Alice Cooper?
I'm an associate of Alice Cooper. I don't get to hang out with Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper, I've met him a few times after the fact. We did the videos. We did the prints together. I just saw Alice Cooper maybe 6 months ago in Chicago. I think it was in November or December. He was at the same convention I was at up there in Chicago. But I will be seeing him in the future. I see him about once a year. I run into him at a convention. He'll be doing a convention that I'm at, and we kind of cross over because of number one, he's an iconic Hall of Famer when it comes to rock and roll. But I think that also put Part 6 on the top of the pyramid because not only was it a good substance, a good screen, a good film, but we also had Alice Cooper, who did all the music for it. So we have the pleasure of doing the only Jason that has a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, not to mention somebody that iconic on that side of rock and roll.
All right. So a while ago, you signed a Part 6 picture for my little cousin Corey, and he looks up to you. So can you say hi to him real fast?
Corey, okay. Corey, you there?
No, he's not here with me. I'm recording it for him.
Oh, okay. Hey, Corey, it's CJ. It's Jason. I just wanted to say hello. Thanks for being a fan, Corey. I look forward to meeting you one day, maybe at Son of Monsterpalooza in Burbank, or maybe Monsterpalooza in Pasadena. Okay? Talk to you later, Corey.
Thank you, man. Thank you for doing that. So,
My pleasure.
what was it like growing up for you? And like, why did you get into horror movies and all that? Like,
Can you ask that question again?
what was it like growing up for you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mine's just like everybody else. I grew up without a father, unfortunately, so he died when I was about 3 or 4. And I went in the military when I was 17, and I've just never looked back. So I've risen through, obviously, working, running nightclubs, general manager of clubs, playing Jason, doing commercials and the acting piece, running casinos and being senior executives and general managers and chief operating officers. And now I've just kind of stepped back and taken a breather. I'm kind of semi-retired. I'll work and do what I want to do now, just have some real fun while I'm still healthy. So I don't know if you call that normal, but I've been very driven.
What was your reaction when you got the role as Jason Voorhees, and how did you feel about it, and how did you get the role to be Jason?
Well, the first part of your question is, how did I feel? It was pretty exciting. It was a Friday. I remember getting the call. They wanted me Monday morning on the set. They wanted me in Covington, Georgia. I was like, I didn't really know what it was, to be honest. I mean, we didn't realize the iconic image that it would become, that it has become. Now, getting the part was unusual because I did go out for the part. It was my first time ever going out for a part. And another gentleman originally got the part. In fact, the one scene with the paintballs being hit in the midsection is not me. Unfortunately, they shot that one scene, and they weren't satisfied with the physical characteristics of the stuntman, and they called me the next day, and they stopped doing any more Jason shooting until I got there Monday, and then I picked up the wardrobe and went to work.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Do you know who was originally the Jason for that film?
I don't. I mean, what's that?
Do you know who originally was Jason in the film?
You there, buddy?
Yeah. I'm here.
No, I don't know the name off the top of my head. However, even though he left that part after one day of shooting, I understand he's been very successful over the years as a stuntman and a producer and a director behind the cameras. But I understand, again, he's been very successful and went on to a good life in the industry.
How did you get the role as Hellcop for Highway to Hell?
You have to say that again. You broke up.
Sorry. How did you get the role as Hellcop for Highway to Hell?
Well, that was interesting. Uh, both myself and Kane Hodder went out for that part, just so you know.
Man, Kane Hodder and you.
Very similar. I went out for a call. Kane Hodder and I both went out for it. We both went in for the it wasn't a reading because it's just wearing aesthetics and prosthetics and doing stunt work. But we both went in, and guess what? I was just more fortunate that I fit the physique, what they were looking for, the characteristic, and I got that one and Kane didn't get it.
So, obviously you and Kane, what it seems is like you're good friends. So, out of all of Kane Hodder's movies, which one did you like the most?
And ask that question again, you broke up.
So you and Kane Hodder, you guys have been coming a long way. Which one of Kane Hodder's films would you like to have a role in, and which one was your favorite?
I think, I would like to have done part 7 because I did like the script. However, I think Kane did a great job in Hatchet. I don't know if you've seen that series.
I have a bust.
I really thought that was a cool characteristic.
I have a Hatchet bust of the killer. And the guy who actually sold me the bust.
Hatchet was a good film, couple good films. And then if you get a chance, Kane Hodder's got a biography up. I don't know if you knew that.
Is there any way I could contact Kane?
I can reach out to Kane because I do have his personal number. I'll reach out to him and ask him if he has time. It's not that he wouldn't be interested. I mean, he's got a very busy schedule.
Oh, definitely.
But I can reach out to him for you and see if he has time to do a Skype. And, the same thing, try to keep it on 30 minutes like we'll do, and I'll let you know. How's that?
Thank you, man. I just need to say, I love your hat. That hat's pretty sick. So what's your favorite band?
Cool. You there, buddy?
Yeah, I asked you what's your favorite band.
My favorite what?
Band.
Oh, band. Sorry about that.
That's alright.
I think it's a combination. I enjoy classic rock, but I also, enjoy the hip hop and I enjoy the rap all the way through the country. So I really don't have a favorite band per se. I've had the benefit of running casino resorts and meeting people from Chicago to Def Leppard, and then all the way going back to Jay Leno, and then up to Montgomery Gentry. So I've been pretty fortunate. So I've met a lot of people in a lot of bands, probably 60 or 70 different groups and bands. So I don't have necessarily a favorite. I enjoy a wide variety.
Are you a fan of bands such as like Korn, Metallica, Stone Sour, Slipknot, any of them?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when I did the convention up outside Chicago, Korn, one of the guys was right next to me doing autographs. So we got some photos together. I'll have Ruby send you the photo of him and I, so you have it. You can use it in your archives. So, all right.
I'm actually going to go see Korn and Stone Sour in 2 days. Huh?
Well, I'll tell you what. I will send you a picture of me and one of the guys from Korn, in about 10 minutes here. I'm going to get off the Skype here. I've got another interview at 6:30 that I need to do in about 2 minutes.
Dang. All right. Well,
and then what I'll do is I'll have Ruby grab a photo real quick of me and Corn and send it to you, okay?
Alright, thank you so much for doing this, man. Very nice meeting you. This was super cool for you to do this. And I'll see you next time. Peace.
Alright, tell James and Corey I said hi, okay?
Alright. Peace.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you again. Well, shit. There you have it, guys. So that was my interview with CJ Graham from Friday the 13th Part 6. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.